Thank you, Madam Chair. Ani Buju Minogiship. Good morning, members of the committee. Thank you for having me here today to offer the Department of the Interior's testimony. Madam Chair, I also want to apologize for my tardiness this morning. I know I kept you waiting. It won't happen again. Thank you. The department is here to present testimony on H.R. 1246 and H.R. 1532. These two bills seek to address concerns raised by many tribes that have encountered barriers in the development and use of their lands due to laws designed to ensure the federal government fulfilled its responsibility as trustee. The Long-Term Leasing Act provides the authority for tribes to enter into surface leases with third parties with the approval of the Secretary of the Interior. This act limits lease agreements, as Madam Chair indicated, to 25-year terms with an option to renew for an additional 25 years. Over the years, tribes have engaged in a wide range of activities to promote economic development, and many leases require agreements for longer than 50 years, many leases require terms longer than 50 years to promote economic development. Since its enactment in 1955, Congress has added 60 tribes to the Long-Term Leasing Act for this purpose. In each edition, as you've noted, Madam Chair, has required separate legislation which is time-consuming and resource-draining for tribes. H.R. 1246 amends the Long-Term Leasing Act to add any other tribes listed pursuant to the List Act to enter into leases for up to 99 years. And the inclusion of all tribes will be in addition to the 60 tribes already listed through previously enacted legislation. The department supports the goal of this legislation as it would promote economic development opportunities and avoid tribes having to acquire separate legislation for this purpose. Congress previously amended the Long-Term Leasing Act in 2012 by passing the Hearth Act, which restored tribes' ability to control and lease their land under their approved tribal regulations without further approval from the Secretary of the Interior. Since that time, 82 tribes have adopted their own leasing regulations to regulate the use of their lands, and the implementation of this program has been a huge success for tribes across the country. While the department recognizes and supports revising laws governing tribal land use, amending these laws must be done carefully to ensure that there are not unintended consequences. The Non-Intercourse Act was passed to ensure that the federal government had an orderly process to acquire lands from Indians, and over the past 2 centuries, a significant amount of case law and federal law has been built on top of that act. Any legislation that would change the operation of the Non-Intercourse Act, however well-intentioned, may create more confusion around the status of Indian lands and inadvertently harm tribes in the process. H.R. 1532 would expressly allow tribes to lease, sell, or transfer tribal lands not held in trust by the United States without any further action of the department to validate that transaction. At this time, the department can't support 1532. While H.R. 1532 does not directly amend the Non-Intercourse Act, it expressly exempts land from restrictions in the Non-Intercourse Act and may have unintended consequences. The department understands that some tribes may ask for legislative relief, as commercial lenders and title companies often ask tribes to confirm that the Non-Intercourse Act is inapplicable to their fee land. We believe this is an unnecessary step, which unfortunately is used to raise the cost of transactions and business deals for tribes across the country. The department appreciates the opportunity to present its views on H.R. 1532 and H.R. 1246. And Madam Chair and Ranking Member and members of the committee, I look forward to answering your questions this morning, and I'll yield back the rest of my time. Miigwech.
Thank you. The chair now recognizes Chairman Marcellus Osceola for 5 minutes.